It's day two at the Bharat Mobility Expo. Of course, for the media and for the dealers, the day is open. But clearly, the hottest segment right now is, of course, at the Bharat Mobility Expo is the Mahindras stall here, and I'm joined by Mr. Veejay Nakra to explain why the whole furor is about the EV. Sir, clearly, a lot of it's just day two, and we see a lot of interest coming on from dealers as well. How are you feeling? Because of course, from SUVs to now, radical changes to EVs now. What is the response been on the ground when actually people are coming to see it?
Chetan, thank you again for having me on your show. It's always a pleasure. I think we are delighted. We are extremely excited. 14th of February, 14th of January, we started test drives in 5 select markets. Today, we opened this to the larger public at the auto show. And the response has been extremely encouraging and gratifying. If we look at the kind of audience that's walking in here at the show, the stall is practically full. Everyone wants to see and touch and feel the vehicle. They want to know all the features that we offer. They want test drives of the product, and they are very keen to know when booking starts so that they can get their hands on these two beauties that we've launched.
Also, the Prime Minister also came to your stall yesterday, and you had an interaction. How did the PM react to it, and what all did you discuss it with PM? I'm sure there's the thing that you can tell us, but what the reaction was, and what was the discussion that happened with you?
So firstly, we thank the Honorable Prime Minister for taking time out and coming to our stall. We are very humbled and pleased that he took time to come and see what an Indian multinational is creating. We've said that this is a story of Unlimit India, and that's exactly what we've attempted to do with these two products, and we've done it. He was very happy to see what we've created in terms of an offering, because they are global beaters, whether you talk about them in terms of design, whether you talk about them in terms of quality, in terms of features, in terms of battery technology, in terms of software, in terms of the range that they offer. So he was delighted and proud to see what Mahindra and Mahindra has created under his vision of creating in India for the world. And that's exactly what our story is with these two products. And to begin with, in terms of the offerings that we will bring to the market through Mahindra Automobile Electric Limited.
Also, sir, now when it comes to the whole show, the theme has been, a lot of OEMs have been mentioning to green, and of course talking about various platforms of, fuel that can probably work for the Indian market. I want to ask you, are you now also thinking towards looking at other OEMs that, we need to be more aggressive in the EV market plus in plug-in hybrids? Any comment on that?
I think we'll talk about those strategies in due course of time. All manufacturers, including us, have to be flexible to see how the world and how the markets move and adapt to make those technologies available. But we've always said that the solution to mobility, the solution to environment, the solution to the import bill for the country, the technology is electric. And our commitment is to that. We've demonstrated that, and that's why we bring these first two products on our INGLO electric origin architecture platform.
Also, sir, if I may ask you, going forward, we have now the SUVs also picking up. The worst is probably behind us when it comes to the numbers. How are you looking at the new financial that's coming up? Any comment on that?
I think we have to wait and watch. There are certain headwinds that we've been seeing in the overall PV space, but SUVs has always been encouraging. In fact, if you look at last month's data, 67% of total PV sales is now SUVs. So there's a clear trend that consumers, whether it's in the micro, sub 4 meter, more than 4 meter, the consumers want aspirational products like SUVs. And I think what's also encouraging to see is, you've seen as you'll walk around the show, many of the other OEMs have their products that they are launching, whether they be ICE technology, flex fuel technology, or EV technology. And to a very large extent, excitement and growth of categories always is fueled by the innovation and the new technologies that are brought in. And I think what we see at Bharat Mobility here clearly is an indication that with many of these products coming in, as you rightly said, the year ahead will be a good one, but cautiously keeping in mind some of the headwinds that are that continue to exist in the industry.
What headwinds are you talking about?
I think we've seen that we need a little bit of stabilization on interest rates. I mean, the declining trend of interest rates, access of finance to consumers, a little bit more of the role of NBFCs in terms of making finance available to consumers. While infrastructure spends have been good, we need to see a lot of that play out on the ground for money to reach the hands of the consumers. The monsoon has been good. We are seeing good trends when it comes to two-wheelers and tractors. So some of that will start coming in, and we'll see the rub-off of that coming into SUVs. So I think it's a mixed bag at the moment. When all of this will come together, hopefully we'll see a good F26 ahead.
Should the RBI cut interest rates now? Because you think it's high time?
Well, I think that's a monetary policy matter. But of course, from a consumer's point of view, looking at what will fuel growth, which is what the industry to a large extent needs, drop in interest rate, consecutive drops in interest rate will clearly be something that will help.
Last question. The sub 10 lakh car segment is probably on decline for a lot of OEMs. I know you have one or two products, not much that, but what do you to say about the declining trend? Do you think the trend would eventually decline, or it is here to stay, or there will be a revival in that segment?
Like I look, it's going to be so whether to talk about specifically, if even there, if you look at it, you break it down into PVs and SUVs, the larger decline that happened in the less than 10 lakhs is largely in the passenger car space. But a lot of that demand is shifted into micro SUVs. So from an SUV category kind of space, what's actually happened is SUV as a category has grown at a rate of about 12-15% compared to what you see on the PV side, where there is a negative decline. So there is a lot of demand that's shifted from smaller PVs, smaller cars to smaller SUVs. And as a result of that, if you look at the penetration of SUVs, which was once at 40%, went up to 50, 60, and like I said, last month, if you look at the data, it's close to almost 70%. So there are trends of demand shifts that are happening within the overall PV space.
Right, so thank you so much for joining us at Business to TV. Well, that was Veejay Nakra speaking to Business TV on, of course, how the trends are emerging, and of course how the RBI cutting rates would probably help fuel more demand from the consumers end.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.